Hello, and welcome to our group project, From Support to Success, Shaping Communities Together. My name is Taylor. This is our group 4 by Tristan, Tabria, myself, Alex, and Eli. Service theme and service activities. Our theme, Education and Economic Mobility, focuses on the idea that access to learning and resource can create long-term opportunities for individuals and families. Rather than focusing on a single group, we examined how people at different stages of life can benefit from support that builds knowledge, confidence, and skills. Education plays a critical role in shaping future outcomes, and when individuals are given the right tools early on, it can positively impact their academic success, their career opportunities, and overall their quality of life. Economic mobility is closely connected to this as it reflects individuals' ability to improve their financial stability and create better opportunities for themselves and their families. Our projects, although different, all align with this theme. By focusing on empowerment through access instead of short-term solutions, our work emphasizes long-term growth and stability. For my service activity, I volunteered with Hope Impacts in Katy, Texas, during their Next Chapter brunch program. Hope Impact serves individuals experiencing homelessness by providing meals, showers, clothing, and other essentials while also offering long-term support that helps people transition towards stability. What stood out to me was that this is not just a drop-in service. Participants are approved through an application process, making it a true rehabilitation and life transition program. They receive support through meals, clothing, financial literacy classes, job search guidance, interview preparation, and other seminars. When I arrived, the operations director asked me, "What are you good at?" That question made me reflect on my skills in a new light and consider how I could adapt them to meet the organization's needs. During my volunteer experience, I packed clothing orders, I encouraged their clients, and I helped support the financial literacy seminar. This experience showed me that service is not just about helping with tasks. It is about using your strengths to support dignity, growth, and real change.
Hi, I'm Tabria Sanders, a mom and an educator who loves to read. I wanted to create something that the families could use at home to build early reading habits. I included in the kits a writing notebook, crayons, stickers, Play-Doh, a reading book, and an activity book. I completed my service activity days during Parathon Week, which encourages families to read at home and do reading activities with their child. The first group I interacted with was the 1 to 2-year-olds, which was really chaotic but also fun because I got to read a book to a group of them, which really brought my project purpose to life. In the second interaction with my 3 to 4-year-old preschool students, I got to ask them more questions about the type of books they like, and I also got to talk to some of the parents about the read activities they do at home. I also had to negotiate starting my workday later so I could complete my volunteer hours at the beginning or the end of the day. I selected working around my workload and the workload and schedules of the kids' classrooms.
For my part of the project, I worked with an organization called Opportunity House that's based in Reading, Pennsylvania. It's a nonprofit that helps people experiencing homelessness by providing them with shelter, job training, and support to help them get back on their feet. What I mainly did was help clean up parking lots and the surrounding areas. In my opinion, it didn't seem like a big deal at first, but it actually made a huge difference. Keeping the space clean helps make it a safer and more welcoming people for those in the area. This experience showed me that helping people doesn't always have to be something big. Even small, little things like cleaning up can make a huge impact and support with the organization and help deliver what they're trying to do. Overall, I think it helped me understand that places like Opportunity House makes a huge difference in the community around it.
My service activity focused on food security and sustainability through volunteering with Serve the City Amsterdam. Through this organization, I helped prepare and serve meals using food that was close to expiration or surplus. This included community events where we made items like wraps and dips, as well as serving meals in a soup kitchen setting. Across both experiences, the focus was not only on reducing food waste, but also on bringing people together and supporting individuals in need, including elderly and immigrant communities. This showed me that food is more than just a basic need. It creates connection, supports dignity, and provides stability. Without that stability, it becomes much harder for individuals to focus on education, growth, or long-term opportunities. This connects directly to our theme because stability is a key step in achieving both literacy and economic.
I focused on financial literacy for young adults. I chose this because our project goal was involving creating a long-term impact rather than just short-term help. Financial literacy is a skill that directly affects people's ability to be independent, and it's also aligned with my interests in the real world, like budgeting, credit, and financial planning. My service activity involved finding students in my area to come sit down and enjoy some free ice cream, all on me, and talk about some important concepts they will be starting to encounter in their lives: credit, budgeting, and how buying a home versus renting looks long term, which connects to our project focus on empowerment and long term value. When you look at the data, you can see why this matters. Financial confidence increased for a while, but has recently started to decline, and younger groups tend to have lower financial literacy overall. At the same time, over half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, which shows how common financial instability is. Personal finance issues become even more clear when you look at real-world financial pressure. We went over examples of how much money you save and gain from owning versus renting on different house price ranges and timescales. Additionally, only about 45% of Americans feel confident they could even handle a $1,000 emergency expense, which shows a lack of financial preparedness or capability. On a larger scale, in most states, the majority of households cannot even afford the median priced home. So we can see there's a clear disconnect between rising costs, income, and financial readiness. One thing that stood out to me was that some of these students did not even know what their credit score was or what a Roth IRA was. This reinforces why financial literacy is more important than ever. Things are not tilted in younger generations' favor, so understanding how and what it takes to get ahead is crucial.
Service selection process. For our service selection process, our team began with a structured virtual meeting to generate and evaluate service ideas. Because our group spread across Texas, Pennsylvania, and the Netherlands, we needed a clear process to stay aligned. We started with an open brainstorming where each member shared causes, organizations, and skills they wanted to build. This gave us a range of ideas, including animal welfare, literacy mentorship, and workplace development. When we then grouped the ideas into broad themes and evaluated based on shared interests, geographic feasibility, in-person requirements, and long-term impact. In the end, we selected education and economic mobility because it best reflected our team's shared interests and gave each member's flexibility to complete meaningful service activities while still contributing to one unified purpose. Success challenges adjustments. Our project had several clear successes, challenges, and adjustments. One major success was our team stayed collaborative and respectful throughout the process. We utilized efficient platforms for project management like Microsoft Teams, document sharing, and Asana project management. We created space for open ideas, adapted to different schedules and locations, and ultimately reached a consensus on shared theme of education and economic mobility. At the same time, we faced challenges. Some conflicts came from miscommunication and even about who owned certain tasks, different in tone and communication styles, and inconsistent participation, like missed meetings or delayed work. This sometimes increased stress for the more active team members and pushed work closer for deadlines. To improve, we have a specific adjustment. We agreed on communicate more professionally through Microsoft Teams, define task ownership more clearly, respond within 48 hours, and strengthen accountability while still allowing people to re-engage if they fell behind. Overall, these changes helped us become more structured, fair, and effective as a team. Other key points. Service can take many forms, but it can still support the same overall mission. Our activities include direct service, education, and community engagement, which allow to make an impact on different ways. We focus not only on immediate support, but also on creating long-term value. Overall, we learned that even small actions can lead to meaningful change, especially when those focus on those values of especially when there are focus on those value of service, not just the final outcome. Conclusion. Our team had a lot of success with collaboration and mutual respect, which made it easy to share ideas and include everyone, even with different schedules and locations. We adapted well and agreed on a clear project theme. We did face some challenges like miscommunication and task ownership, different communication styles, and missed meetings, which added pressure near deadlines. To improve, we used Microsoft Teams for more organized communication, clearly define responsibilities, set a 48-hour response expectation, and reinforce accountability so everyone stayed involved. Thank you.